of course, I'll be speaking to former JMPD Chief David Tembe, who's now MMC of Community Safety. And no, MMC, you are not going to be asked about any cage fight. We're talking about this. I mean, the Action SA member was appointed yesterday to Mpho Phalatse's mayoral committee, the newly appointed MMC. Also joining us this very morning, Mr. David Tembe. Thank you for your time and good morning to you. You've just, of course, resumed into your new role. What are some of your priorities? What's top on the agenda when it comes to your portfolio of community safety?
Yes, thank you very much for having me, and to the listeners and the viewers. The issue that we are interested in mostly is the rule of law. We are going to use the one that we were using before, Mthetho. So with Mthetho, we are going to deal with all issues that makes the community of Johannesburg not to sleep at night.
Yeah, and we know that at this time, MMC, we've seen so many statistics around, crime within Gauteng, crime within Johannesburg. It is the city season. It is the festive season. So many kidnappings, hijackings, robberies, assault. We're also running a story around, gender-based violence. I mean, surely this is something that you are aiming to address to ensure that communities stay safe.
Yes, this falls under crime prevention, and it's a competency of SAPS. However, as JMPD, we have been working very closely with SAPS and other law enforcement. We are going to intensify the issue of those who are robbing people in the inner city. We are going to check that all the CCTV are working. Remember, I have a unit that was dealing with the issue of smash and grab in the inner city. We are going to intensify that. The issue of cable theft, we're going to have the unit that will focus strictly on that on 24/7. The issue of transport, the issue of skipping the robots. I think those will be the issue of the past that we're going to focus on it.
Yeah.
Mthetho is back. Illegal connection, one.
MMC, I'm not sure if I've lost you there. Right, I've just gotten you back. I'm happy to hear this. Let's talk about then emergency response services, MMCs. I'm talking here about the likes of ambulances, members of the SAPS, whether it's fire engine ambulances, and their response rate to obviously, where there seems to be incidents of either crime or where there is, commotion happening. There have been numerous complaints that at times these response, services are late, they do not show up, or they're incapacitated to deal with, whatever incident that needs their attention at the time. What's your plan to address this?
Yes, we are going to have a look at what it is that they're having now at the control center. Because our response time, for example, a step chest or where a person is in trouble in terms of EMS or fire engines, it's supposed to be 15 minutes. But I've realized we don't have that. We can't measure that, because we don't have enough fire engines. Ambulance has been taken by Gauteng province, so we have to I have to sit down with the executive mayor, Dr. Mpho Phalatse, that I've been working very well with her, to see how we can rescue the situation. Because people, when they get robbed or when they get assaulted, they run to the nearest fire station, only to find that there are no ambulances and there are no fire engines. So we're going to deal with that. Those are on my priority list.
Yeah, I remember you also mentioned there during our conversation, MMC, the issue around negligent driving and those who drive recklessly, particularly in communities. And we know that oftentimes there is also, a high report rate of, corruption amongst, members of the JMPD when it comes to, drivers. The infamous sort of like, tales of, giving a JMP member cold drink money because you're trying to escape either a fine or you're trying to escape either being arrested. What's your plan in addressing corruption when it comes to, some of our law enforcement with dealing with negligent driving on our roads?
Remember when I was still working with the former mayor, Mr. Mashaba, corruption is the core that we have to deal with. Most of the time, when I was still with JMPD as the chief, we used to have our monthly performance stats that we presented to the public. Now, we are going to present it the way we were presenting it and show that who is corrupt, what happened to that corruption, and we are going to deal it. We were winning. Unfortunately, I was taken out, but we were winning on fighting corruption. Not only taking cold drinks, some of the officials are taking money when they have to deal with the issues of illegal dumping. A person will go and do illegal dumping, and he just paid 3,500. That's why we have to increase it, and we have to impound the vehicles for this illegal dumping. So no more corruption that will take place, yes.
Right. Well, earlier on we've spoken about who our South African viewers would like to see in a cage fight, Mr. Tembe, politicians, that being said. It sounds like you want no one but corruption in a cage fight. That's the one issue that you would rather tackle, in a cage fight. And I appreciate you speaking to us this morning, MMC of Community Safety, Mr. David Tembe. I mean, it sounds like Mr. Tembe has so many plans for community safety, and when it comes to either emergency response raids, whether, it's a JMPD and, negligent driving, corruption within, of course, the city. He's got big plans.
And it's not just plans, but also with substance as well, as former head of JMPD as well, has that experience to know what the problems are on the ground at the coal face to try and fix that.